What's going on? You ever sat in a meeting where, say you're in there to plan a party, and you get in that meeting and it ends up lasting an hour and a half when you were only supposed to be covering about 3 or 4 details about that party? Say you're like 2 months out from that party, so you only really needed to cover a few things at this particular meeting. How come it still lasted that long? Does that bother you? Are you sitting in that meeting like, yo, like I got other things to do today, man? Like, and we in here joking around about some TV show last night, and we just started talking about people and all kind of things. That ever happened to you? I just want to say this. If you are the person in charge of a meeting, do a little research before you run that meeting and really get a grasp on how you're supposed to run a meeting. There are some particular skills that you need to have before you actually run a meeting. One of them is to manage the time properly. Another is to stay focused on the task. You have to moderate that thing. You have to facilitate that meeting. You need to go in there with a plan. Don't just go in there thinking like, look, we're going to plan a party. Everybody in here is smart, so we'll just get in here and have some discussion and we'll come up with some things. Maybe that'll work for the first meeting. We'll come up with some things, like the brainstorming piece where everybody just throws ideas out there and you kind of just start to work with them. But you got to have an organized meeting so it doesn't go for 2 hours when it could have lasted 20 minutes. Meetings honestly should, in my opinion, should never go past an hour. And to be honest with you, it probably doesn't even need to be an hour. Probably 20 to 40 minutes max for a meeting. Because then you can just go into another meeting, in the following week or something like that, or work some things offline if it needs to be longer. So I just advise you, before you start a meeting, have an agenda, have a plan. Here's what we're going to be walking out of this meeting knowing. So already know coming into the meeting exactly what it is that you need to come out of the meeting with. Get in there with a couple of things. I know we need to find out this and we need to find out that by the time we walk out of this meeting. Anything else will just be a bonus. Go in there with that, and then make sure, if people start to go off topic, you got to reel them back in somehow. You have to have some type of a communication skill to be able to say, all right, I appreciate that topic, but let's stay focused on this, but let's write that down and we'll get back to it. Something like that. Don't blow people off just all the way like, yo, what are you talking about, man? Stop talking. But, let them know that we'll jot that down. We don't want to forget about it, and we'll get to it another time. But right now we have a goal, and we got to stay focused on that goal. Not only so that we can get the job accomplished, that what we're trying to get done, but so that we can respect each other's time, man. Think about it. People are in that meeting. They're in there to help. They're in there to listen. They're helping you. So help them by letting them get up out of there as soon as possible. All right. So come to your meetings organized. I could definitely get into more details, but I'm just going to leave it at that. In general, just come to that thing with a plan and have it written down. It always helps to even print out like an agenda to give to everybody, so that everybody's kind of following the same sheet of paper and you can move on to the next topic pretty smoothly and people are prepared. That's another thing. You could send that out before the meeting and let people start to prepare for what they're going to be talking about. That will help, so that everybody's not caught off guard when you first get there. And I guess lastly, to wrap it up, summarize what you discussed before you leave the meeting room. And especially if there's a task or a job that you have assigned to somebody, or if somebody has taken on a responsibility, they said, I'll do that, I'll do the decorations, get their name, so that they can be, they can feel accountable for that. Understand that they have just taken an assignment, and you don't just leave it out there for, whoever else wants to help, you can help. Get names so people feel, personally in charge of something. All right. Anyways, like I said, I could get into a whole lot more detail, but I just wanted to kind of just hit that as a general overview, how to prepare for meetings and how to run a meeting. All right. Talk to you later.